You were in a lot of the Goon Squads, or you were in all of the Goon Squads, right? So were you ever concerned that you weren't going to make it or like get cut due to performance? Did you ever get down on yourself because you were in the Goon Squad? I mean, I just know from when I was training, I was last all the time. I mean, like, and when I mean last, I mean like they could have ordered a pizza by the time I got back, okay?
Well, so it was funny. So I was on, Mark Devine, who, he was...
Yeah.
I think he was at SEAL Team 3 at the same time I was, and
Okay.
so we definitely overlapped. And he was on. Someone talked about it. He was like, oh, like because he was never gooned. Like he never made the goon squad. Like he could run, he could do all that stuff. So he kind of equated it as like, oh yeah, goon squads where losers are. And I'm like, oh no, I like the goon squad because, and there was Derek Van Orden who's a congressman now, was in my buds class. Because what ended up happening was I was not a great runner. So we'd start and the pack, I'd be just behind the pack. A lot of times the instructors were like, okay, we're going to cut the line off and then Jeff's the first person that gets gooned. And then we just start gooning everyone else. And so, okay, just put me through another form of exercise. Hell Week is just one evolution after the next. Okay, go to the next one. Go to the next one. And Goon Squad is, okay, we're done with the run. Now we're going to do the next training exercise. Okay, so what? And Derek he wouldn't laugh at me, but he could always tell, like, if I'd been doing something extra. Like one weekend I went out, and I didn't party, but I was just spending too much time at the time. I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was spending too much time not sleeping, not preparing. He came up to me towards this was in third phase. He came up to the end. He's like, "What happened to you? Like, you normally smoke everyone in the Goon Squad." Because I'm like, I get that. I was like, "Let's go." Everyone else gets kind of depressed. So I'm like, "New evolution, new day. Let's go." And he goes, "What happened to you? Like, you weren't doing so well in the Goon Squad." And that's the point. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I need to get my sleep. Not get enough sleep. Not good." Any evolution you get caught up. If you're not number one, then so what? Like, and you're getting gooned, so what? It's not going to kill you. Like, it's literally, none of the stuff's going to kill you. And if it does, well, okay. I mean, and by the way, I'm not trying to be morbid. By the way, I'm not a super upbeat guy or like, oh, look at how beautiful everything is. Like, it's just like, that's the next evolution. Next evolution. Okay, let's do our best and figure out what do you have to do to get out of the Goon Squad. Put out harder than anyone else and win, and you get out of the Goon Squad. Okay. Or you can not try and be a little slower and do 5 or 6 evolutions, and then the beating gets worse. Figure out the evolution, figure out what you have to do. I mean, so I actually did okay in buds from the standpoint of I wasn't the honor man, but I was surprising myself. I was close to the top, and it was because I could swim. I mean, I was very comfortable in the water, and most swims I was top tier. So any swimming evolution I was fine on. Obstacle course, I wasn't top, but I wasn't the bottom. Runs, I was okay at, but but I definitely had to put out and run to make the times. I actually thought buds was kind of one of the better parts of my life. and not for a morbid reason, but all you do is you're paid to work out and eat and work out. And you had to do some education. So you didn't have a lot of distractions. It's not a bad, like, of course it's miserable and all that stuff. A lot of ways it wasn't that bad. It could have been worse. Like,
yeah. So, like your philosophy I really like, where it's like, well, this sucked less than something else I could have been doing. Yeah.
Oh, so I remember during Hell Week, and I think I've talked about this one before. So the instructors come up to me, and we're freezing, and I don't know what it was, but it was really cold. And like, hey, I don't know what, if it was Lieutenant Engel or whatever, or Mr. Engel, I don't know what it was. But they said, hey, you could quit right now, and you can go get a warm cup of coffee and be on that ship. And I was like, oh, hell no. That place is miserable. I'd rather get paid to work out and get beaten than to be on a ship. And but not a bad life. It's just not the life I wanted. Like, I'd been there, done that. Being on the surface Navy is a tough life. Like, it's tough. I mean, if you love being at sea, then it's great. Yeah, so it's funny. Like, the things that people try and punish you and try and make you feel bad is like, oh no, that's worse. That sucks worse.